people say they, for some reason, don't know about Bardstown, and they're trying to figure out what in the world to do after, the Bourbon Festival ends at 6 o'clock. There's plenty to do there, or if you're staying up in Louisville and taking a shuttle back and forth, there's plenty to do there as well, right?
Oh gosh, again, you're doing my job. Way to steer me through. So, Bardstown is an amazing, quaint, little, beautiful small town. 13,000 people. Ten of the distilleries that are in the festival are in that immediate Nelson County area. So people often will come into the festival with the new RFID technology. You can scan in, attend for a couple hours, and go do a distillery tour, come back and enjoy the festival. But as you mentioned, we now close at 6. So we used to be open until 10, 11 o'clock at night, and we were the entertainment. And I thought, okay, well, this new model, we don't want to like monopolize. We want to give people a really cool experience, let them see the distilleries, but then turn them loose into the community. So right now, starting about 3 years ago, Bardstown Bourbon Company did an evening event. Heaven Hill's doing an evening event. So more and more of the Jim Beam, pardon me, out at the kitchen table. They do some private events. We used to do an event in Fred No's backyard in the Beam family home, like a real small group, and we're working on trying to revive that piece. So we can close the festival and get people out into the community. They go to the restaurants and the bars. You mentioned Louisville. We have a new partnership this year to where when you're on the festival site and then in your box office buying your tickets, there's opportunities for you to go ahead and reserve your hotel rooms, which is always one of the big challenges because it is such a small town. So we've got a number of regional hotels that have partnered with us, offered special room blocks, room rates. And if you're staying in Louisville, if you get downtown, we're running free bus shuttles back and forth from the downtown Louisville hotels to the front door of the festival. We want it safe. So we were talking yesterday, if you live in Louisville and you don't want to drive to Bardstown and you're not going to be staying overnight, get downtown, get on one of the buses, Uber from home to downtown and back. You can have a seamless path all the way through and have a really enjoyable but safe experience, which is something we're always working on. And then even in Bardstown, there's a shuttle service that's running people from the area, the hotels that are kind of clustered, to the front gate, and then in the evening they'll be running them more for the distilleries back to the hotels. So the safety and the responsibility of what we are doing is something very serious, especially when it's a spirits, alcohol based experience. So we're always very cognizant of that. We encourage people to make sure you're picking a designated driver. I've got a group of buddies. They draw the straw. Sorry, you got the short straw. You're the DD today. Tomorrow and Sunday you can enjoy it. But they kind of take turns. There's enough to see and do down there that people can kind of take a step back and make sure that their group of buddies are having a good, safe time as well.
Well, and I think one of the things that myself and Brandon, who does the show with me in the reviews, and we got to enjoy it last year, was the amount of people that are responsible. You are getting enjoying a brown liquor, but at the end of the day, you're not seeing people stumble over themselves or drop and hear the glass shatter at some other types of festivals you might see it. And I think that's what made it extra special, because it is really a place where people are trying to learn and just learn about products, learn about the spirit a little bit more. And if they want to learn more about the festival, what's the website again, and how can they learn everything they can?
Thank you. It's kybourbonfestival.com, and that's all spelled out one word, kybourbonfestival.com, or you can go on our social medias at kybourbonfest. Instagram and Facebook are our primary. We do a little bit with Twitter, but we've been very busy the last week or so, and that'll continue through tickets, just making sure people know if they have the opportunity to get it. We're starting to talk about who's going to be at the festival and what the kind of the special stuff is. So we will have content all summer. So get your tickets, and then we will start telling people more and more about some of the new additions that we're doing, the expansions and things like that. But never a dull moment. And people ask me what I do the rest of the year after the festival's over. This is what I do. there is no magic wand.
I was gonna say, it's a lot of work, and you're working with a lot of different people. And, when you say 55 different distilleries, that can mean 100 different brands when it's all said and done. So it's an amazing thing that you guys put on, and like I said, I can't wait to get back.
Well, and it's very humbling, because those 55 brands, while they compete for every little quarter inch out on the shelf, they're all friends. They enjoy each other's liquid. I was just today, again, what I get to do for work, we spent 6 hours with the Angel Zenby team and with Owen, their master distiller, and picking a really amazing barrel for this year's Bourbon Festival. And I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that we started the single barrel program, the KBF, in 2021, and we had 11 single barrel offerings, 11 different distilleries. And then it's grown to now where we'll be probably right around 40. So if you come to the Bourbon Festival, even if you're not buying their standard run-of-the-mill retail bottles that they're selling and offering, you have a chance to go to these distilleries and buy a truly unique expression, which is our single barrel that our crew of people that are getting really good at this are picking directly with the distilleries. So, but yeah, that's basically what other than talking to you tonight, I spent 6 hours with Angel's Envy, doing a barrel pick, and came home and had a little old man nap in between, and here I am.
It's a rough life you live, Randy. It's a rough life.
It is tough. Someone's got to do it, though, as they say.
Well, like I said, you're doing an amazing job. I had a blast last year. Literally, right when we were there, we put it in our phones because you guys put out the dates for the next one. We had it blocked off, and we're ready to head back. And folks, I cannot stress enough, if you're a bourbon lover, no matter where you are on the spectrum of how big of a geek you are about it, there's something there for everyone, and I think you're going to have a good time.
Right. Well, thank you. And I mentioned earlier why the distilleries are always going to be number one, and our ticketed guests are going to be number two by default. When I worked at Churchill Downs, all the marketing and sponsorship people and the ticketing people were all taking credit for this amazing event. And my boss, who's been involved with 32 derbies, and his dad was at 71 derbies, said, it's all fine and dandy, but if we don't have those 20 horses in the starting gate, none of this happens. And so in our case, I always look the distilleries in the eye and tell them, hey, you are our 20 horses. You are our horses that we will focus on. Everything else happens because of you being in the starting gate, so to speak. And that's something it's about whiskey and the people who make it. We remind ourselves that every day. As soon as we start thinking about, no, that's not core to the mission. Our mission is putting the people who make the whiskey in front of the people who love the whiskey, and step back and get out of the way. Don't overthink it. Don't fix things until it's broken. It works. Just get out of the way and let it happen, and that's kind of what we do. So thank you for noticing that.
Absolutely. Like I said, it was a blast, and folks, if you're really looking to try some of those brands that you may not always get that chance to, they're going to be there. They're all Kentucky-based, or at least produced from Kentucky. That's the other cool thing, and it's like I said, it's well worth it. Check them out on social media. Go to kybourbonfestival.com and see what they've got.
And we'll see everybody September 13th through the 15th this year. And get in and get your tickets. They do go fast.
Well, thank you, Randy.
Thank you. Hey, can I pour? I got to pour something here. And Heaven Hill is our featured distillery. So I went in and did a little deep dive, a little old school bottle and bond action for us tonight, but this is the VIP. It. This is the VIP glass from a couple years ago. The cut crystal.
So I've got the regular one from a few years ago.
You've got our wee dram. But
so, cheers.
Cheers. Thank you for your time, and thanks for everyone for watching and listening, and hope to see you out there in Bardstown, bourbon capital of the world.